Hello, guys. Welcome back to Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and I'm playing with a cool filter on my Zoom. Today, we're going to talk about the amazing, exciting, rare Jupiter sextile Uranus in the sky. And it's pretty cool, guys. The last time this happened was 2008 when Jupiter was in applying sextile to the god of change and dramatic shifts of direction, excitement, and surprises. So these are positive changes of directions, positive surprises coming for each of us this week as this aspect perfects on the 17th of February. However, it's not in play just for that time because Jupiter is not exactly speeding along right now. And Uranus is, of course, super slow moving dude. We're going to experience the feeling of this kind of yay, freedom, grace, good fortune, positive changes, unexpected opportunities, all these great words that I can coming up with, quantum leap. We're going to get this kind of juice from until about February 22nd. I really kind of started to heat up in the sky, maybe around the 13th, 14th of February, and will last until like the third week of February, around the 22nd. So let's talk about your sign and how this is going to give you a positive surprise. And then I'll talk a little bit also before that, if you want to stick in for that, about how I think it might affect the collective. And, coinciding with this, we have a beautiful Mars tango with Venus in Capricorn as well, as we're just coming off that big Leo moon that we just had. So I want to explain a few things about that in the collective sphere and all of that, reminding you that if you want to get the most out of the all signs portion, your rising sign is the best place to start. And then your sun and moon can be useful. I think the sun can often apply to our career and purpose and more of those energies, whereas the moon is our inner life and how we feel. And some people would say, if you're born at night, the moon sign can be very, very powerful. It's your sect light. Now, before I get going on all of this, I want to just mention a couple of things. Check my description box below. I've got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm really excited about my personal abundance astrology course. It's 3 weeks long, takes place on the weekends, on Sundays, and it's all replays available. And if you want to sign up for it, you can see a link below. And as well, if you join my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, you'll get an automatic discount code for that course, and you'll be able to participate at 30% off. Now, let's get going and talk a little bit about this current yay sky. Okay, I'm just going to say one more thing. Can't help myself. I got a couple really, harsh comments on my channel recently, kind of like borderline troll-like. But one person was just kind of suggesting I stay away from politics. Well, first of all, I'm not political. I'm Canadian, first of all. And second of all, I don't even vote. I'm pretty well apolitical. But what I am is talking about the sky stories. I can't ignore them. That's what I do for a living. So I recently talked about the fact that Mars is exalted in Capricorn and Pluto's there as well. And I've been talking about, I think that's representative of the freedom movement. I live in Canada and the truckers and the convoy and all this tension in the air about that. So please understand, I'm just simply reporting what the sky looks like, okay? I'm going to be doing a video about Vladimir Putin. I'm going to be talking about the uncanny coincidence of the asteroid Ukraine in his chart. But that doesn't mean that I have a political position. I'm just talking about how the sky reflects the reality that we're in, right? I always say, may the sky tell us true stories. Okay, I hope that helps clarify my position here. I am not political. I am simply sky storytelling. Okay, great. I've got that off my chest. And then when you do troll me, I'm fine with that, or leave a harsh comment. But if I take time to respond to you, which I do on the comments thread down below, please reply and not just ghost me afterward. This is my pet peeve because this is a personal place for me, really. I'm talking to you like as if you are people in my community. So if you want to comment, I hope you'll listen to what I say and comment back and let me know what's going on. All right, enough of my stuff. Let's talk about this. Whoa, exciting sky. Okay, I hope that wasn't too long of a mope by me. Okay, this is a great book. Ren Butler, he's one of my teachers and colleagues. I'm learning archetypal astrology to add to my Babylonian and Hellenistic mix. And what I'm liking about this book is how easy it is to find little sort of like cheat sheets for the content of the sky. So Jupiter Uranus in his archetypal description are the feeling of dramatic breakthroughs, quantum leaps, sudden unexpected openings and awakenings, excited feelings, freedom and space, illuminative or Promethean types of ecstasy. On the darker side, the potential for manic and impulsive excesses, hubris, over weaning pride, attraction to get rich quick schemes, new age ideals, and the promise of a liberation without a plan. On the other hand, I will say one thing about the promise of liberation without a plan. I do think that, you know, that button, that was easy. Remember that thing? You could punch the button. That was easy. I do think that the positive energy of Jupiter in Pisces, really owning that sky, is going to give us all a sort of sense of relief around something coming to fruition with ease and, yes, radical swiftness, Uranus, and surprise. You know, I mentioned that we had this back in November 8th of 2008. Jupiter was applying to Uranus in a sextile. However, it was in different signs. Jupiter was in his detriment in Capricorn already, and Uranus was in Pisces. I went back to think about that, a superior or applying conjunction, a sextile in my own life, and nothing amazing happened. So Jupiter's condition in 2008 was in detriment or debility. And this time around, Jupiter is in great strength in his home sign of Pisces. That's his traditional rulership. So this is giving us even more juice. And secondly, there are other times this has happened. It happens on an irregular schedule because there's an applying sextile and a waning one. So in July of 2012, there was a waning, like Jupiter looking back over his shoulder, back at Uranus, right? So that happened in 2012. Again, the signs are all different. Jupiter was in Gemini at the time. Uranus was in Aries. February 17th, 2022, there was the one we have, the superior conjunction. And then in July 21st, 2026, we're going to have the inferior one. So you see what I'm saying? And the one in 2026 that's coming up in July, we'll have Uranus in Gemini and Jupiter in Leo. So it's a whole different ballgame, right? Is that right? Jupiter in Leo? Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense. Too quickly. Anyway, well, maybe that is right. That's what I wrote. Okay, strange filter. I realize the color makes me look like orange, but I'm just going to stick with it now that I started. I just thought I'd try something different. Okay, so let's get going and talk about the collective and then your all signs, starting with Aries. So we're looking for positive surprises, unexpected changes, woohoo, and quantum leaps in each of our lives in some area of the sky. But for the collective, I'm wondering if it's going to be a positive breaking away from things that look really harrowing. Like what? Like the Ukraine Putin situation, which is like, you know, and all of a sudden there's like a kind of detente and or like a solution or a compromise that's made, a sudden relief from that situation. It's possible, right? Now, I had a dream about a tsunami last night, and I don't know if it's my own shit or, excuse my language, or if it's coming up for the collective. But sometimes, you know, Uranus and Taurus brings extreme weather. Jupiter, he's really big, right, in that area of the watery place. So I'm blowing up the water, and that's not exactly a positive surprise. So that I'm hoping there's nothing like that coming in the horizon, but it could also be weather related. This up until the 22nd of February. Other ways we can see a sudden surprising goodness come to the world. Maybe there's an announcement for this truckers convoy thing that's going on in Canada, that there's been a resolution and it's not, you know, we're not going into like the War Measures Act, which has been enacted here for a bunch of protesters sitting on Parliament Hill in their trucks. You know what I mean? I mean, it's honestly, nobody's like, you know, gunning each other down in the street, but nonetheless, our prime minister has gone pretty extreme right now. All the borders between Canada and the United States have been open. The truckers have left and moved. So there's none of that going on. We'll see. So look for collective stuff going on. Jupiter can mean leader, right? Like the sun, Jupiter can also represent somebody in a position of leadership. And so maybe some unexpected, radical surprise, good news about somebody in leadership, possibly, not sure. Okay, so you got this sort of sense of who knows what radical surprises could come up. Oh, you know, Uranus can be about cryptocurrencies and Taurus, or things to do with monetary systems and the stock market. Maybe there's going to be some positive bolt of good news. Maybe inflation numbers are going to come down, something like that. Alrighty, let's talk about your sign. And I'm going to start with Aries, and always reminding you, rising sign is best. Don't forget, please, to like my channel and subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications, because it really tells YouTube that my content is interesting to people, especially if you comment, and then the algorithm shares it with other people, and then that allows this channel to grow. So I would appreciate it if you would do those things for me so much. Okay, let's talk about Aries first. All right, now when I do Aries, I'm talking about, again, hint, hint, the rising sign. And just want to say, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, and then I'll go ahead and do it. Just some people are geeked out on astrology like me, and they want to see what it looks like, really. So here we go. Did I share? I can't tell. It says I'm sharing, but I can't see the green line around my share. That's weird. Okay, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to try again. That was weird. Maybe you guys could see it, but I couldn't tell that I was actually sharing. So I don't think I was. I think I was sharing my desktop with you. All right, there we go. So you see there's a wedge in the sky. That's an aspect pattern. It's very temporary because the moon is quickly moving, right? As the moon does through the sign of Virgo. But during the perfecting moment where Jupiter and Uranus are coming into a perfect sextile at 11 degrees and 12 minutes, you can see the moon is receiving this connection to Jupiter and Uranus. And so I would say that wherever the moon is in our sky individually that day, we might find a specific punctuation point that explains what this positive quantum leap breakthrough surprise energy is going to be for us. So I'll address that in the all signs as well. Okay, so I'll get going on this, and I'm going to go into the all signs. So we'll start with the Aries people. So let's talk about Aries, sun, moon, and especially rising sign. Guess what, guys? This is going to be Jupiter in your natal 12th house, loving up Uranus in your second house of money, honey, your possessions, your resources, your earnings, the flow of survival stuff that you need to have your food, shelter, and water. So the second house is kind of feeding that first house of you. So you could find some unexpected jolt, bolt, surprise in the financial quarter of your life that Jupiter is applying to bring to you from your 12th house. Now, interesting, the 12th house can be a money house. It's third from the 10th, like when you sell your wares abroad, like the pet traveling salesman vibe and the spice trade. And if you, by the way, like me, have a PayPal or Stripe account and you have clients internationally, maybe for some of you Aries people, I'm an Aries sun and moon, this could be relevant to a money breakthrough in that way. On the other hand, it's a deep spiritual place. The 12th house is your moksha, liberation, and enlightenment energy. It can be very connected to your insights and your contemplation, sometimes even your nocturnal dreams. And with this energy coming from that place, it's a very non-ordinary place as well. I'm going to be doing some vision boarding with a girlfriend tonight on this energy of the full moon. I'm recording this on the 16th. And so I encourage all of you to think about how, if you're Aries, you can pull energy from the non-ordinary realms, whatever that means to you, your guides, your spiritual, guru teachers on the other side, stuff like that. This filter even makes my teeth look orange. And, so yeah, so there's that. So it's a good money surprise, a very positive liberation, freedom, jolt, quantum leap in the financial quarter for a lot of you Aries people. With the moon, though, across the way during the day of the 17th, there's an initiation where the moon has been like touching this sparkle of yay, bringing this sparkle of yay to life. What does that actually mean? Well, I find it interesting that, the moon is going to come into a trine to Venus at 17 degrees of Capricorn right after this, the same day, a few hours later, which means that Venus is the first one to kind of take orders from the moon, who's just been talking to Jupiter and Uranus. So I want to tie that in for all signs and say, very possibly even the Capricorn zone of your sky. So for you Aries, that's your 10th house of career and reputation. There could be all about money, career, reputation surprises from the moon in your 6th house of the daily work routines and the daily health routines. So I'm going to say for you guys, for all of you beautiful Aries folk, you're having a good money career moment that opens up some positive surprises. And with Venus in Capricorn in your 10th, it could even come from a colleague who's a female or somebody in the same professional sphere who's a female. Venus is up there with the star Vega, which can bring unexpected surprises that are positive and financially beneficial as well. So yay for money, jolts of goodness, career up levels, and some positive developments in the work and health routines for all you Aries people. Yay. Moving on. Taurus, sun, moon, rising sign. So you guys are experiencing the energy of this. I always say the energy of this, you're experiencing the transiting planetary storyline for this guy, the jolt of surprise coming from Uranus in the house of you, your identity, your way you see yourself, the way you look, your body, all of that, and Jupiter's blessings from Pisces in your 11th house of social groups and networks you belong to, you know, larger affiliations of where you belong for a common goal or belief to some group, or sometimes just your larger social circle of friends, particularly the friends that are allies or want to help you with something, favors from friends. So some kind of goodness is coming from that 11th house from Jupiter in the friendship zone to supporting an electrifying change of your identity in some positive way. With the moon in the wedge across the way in Virgo in your 5th house of creativity, fun and joy and play and pleasure. Now, you know, also money luck, just FYI. And, you know, Jupiter is in like kind of a pennies from heaven lucky space too for some great windfalls. And then you've got a money luck energy with the moon in the 5th. So there could be, for some of you Tauruses, a lot of unexpected lucky money surprises coming up between the 17th and at the latest, the 22nd of February. Now, with Venus sitting in your 9th house of higher education, foreign lands and trips and travel, or maybe just also your spiritual place, like the temples or churches that you belong to, or the belief structures, women in that area of your life, in work, in your career path, in your higher education schema, like a professor or a fellow student, or maybe somebody from a foreign land or shore or belief Venus woman could be a part of this narrative, because the moon will touch down with Venus the same day, a little bit later. The first aspect the moon makes is a big earth trine to that Venus. So don't forget, this is very earthy. The moon in Virgo is an earth. Uranus in Taurus is an earth. Venus in Capricorn is an earth. So there's a lot of earth moving through the sky right now. That sounds crazy, but it's true. And for you, this is going to mean something around the 17th, 18th could be breaking through around things that earth represents, which is financial goodness. With Venus in the 9th house, again, could be a lucky break for a free trip somewhere to a foreign land. It could be some good news about your getting a scholarship or some financial break around your higher education, just some possibilities. And also the book publications and stuff like that belongs to the 9th house. If you are a Taurus trying to get a book agented or published or something like that, this could be very positive as well. The publication zone is active. Okay, so mostly I'm thinking with the 11-5, it could be a very good financial breakthrough for you. Jupiter likes pregnancy and fertility. He is opposite your 5th house. The moon is the mama energy. And the surprise on Uranus on your body is, oh my God, I've conceived a child. Some of you Tauruses may find that's true. I hope that would be good news for you. And that would be a welcome development. Okay, especially for the rising sign Taurus. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Let me sip my smoothie. Give me a minute. So for you guys, you are feeling Jupiter's lucky blessings in your career house. And you've got Uranus with a surprise and unexpected element, the quantum leap vibe in your 12th house. Now, your 12th house can be very, very, very interior and very subtle. So, you know, pay attention to bolts of insight, pineal gland downloads, breakthroughs from your nightly dreams, some kind of new inspiration or idea or aha that could be coming from you in a more interior place, as that Uranus is in that part of your sky until 2026, your 12th house. And yet Jupiter in your 10th house of career is bringing opportunity, right? Growth and expansion for you guys all the way till May 11th, actually, in your career house. And this is good to have an angular Venus like that for you, especially rising sign Gemini. So you're golden in your career zone until mid-May. And the last couple of months of this year, when he's back there, you're having promotions and accolades and expansion and growth, etc. So there's a bit of that on steroids around February 17th to 22nd, as you see what the fulfillment of the surprise promises. You may have got headwinds already since February 13th when it started to activate. With the moon in your 4th house, earthy moon, Virgo, of home and land and real estate and where you live. This could also be some kind of energy going on A moon opposing Jupiter is actually quite a good energy. So opportunity coming to you from your home, in your home, about land, about real estate, things like that. Legacy wealth, because that's the fourth house as well, possibly a part of the narrative. Lastly, Venus is in an inheritance and bequeathment house. She's in Capricorn in your eighth house. She'll be there until about March the 7th, 6th, 7th. So you've got this potential female but just a money goddess energy in a money house, eighth house. So unexpected tax rebates, big breakthroughs with loans or grants or stipends or royalty income, investment income, and or money from selling something like a home. Lastly, an inheritance or bequeathment could befall you. It's just possible. I mean, the eighth house of death, is often money from others that die. And Jupiter is often the marker of that, but Venus is there and Jupiter is, kind of in a broad sextile to her. So some of you Geminis may have a sudden, unexpected, like great Aunt Susie, who you thought had passed away years ago in her castle in Ireland, sends you get a note from the solicitor that she's passed and she's left you the castle. Why not? Just for fun, making that up. All right. So more more smoothie. Blueberries, blackberries, walnuts, hemp seeds, stuff like that, arugula. Okay, now move into the next sign, which is Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. In the story of the sky, you have this Jupiter blessing you in the ninth house of your dharma and your meaning of your life, your religious and spiritual beliefs, courts and court cases, legal affairs, visas, higher education, and travel for foreign lands, especially. So keep all that in mind. That's a lot of stuff I just tossed at you. And Jupiter's bringing that blessings to you there until mid-May and the last couple months of this year. So you've got Jupiter's blessings in his home sign in your ninth house, Cancer, rising, sun, and moon. Now, Uranus is sending rare jolts of unexpected freedom and grace and quantum leaps with Jupiter's support from your 11th house of pennies from heaven. Unexpected windfalls, great financial gain from your career, friends and allies who want to help you, benefit you in some way, and of course your hopes, dreams, and wishes for your life. A little bit like the fairy godmother vibe. Now, Uranus is going through there until 2026. This is your social networks, as I said, and groups of belonging. I bet a few of you have radically new social groups and friendship groups that have begun to emerge since 2019, with Uranus bringing a lot of change to that part of your sky. But today, on the 17th through the 22nd of February, with the moon in earthy Taurus in your third house of siblings and short trips and travel and online learning or skills-based learning, you could find yourself having an incredible positive financial gain from an aunt, uncle, cousin, or sibling. Those are third house things, extended family. For something happening in your neighborhood, the environments around where you live, that's third house stuff, or from a trip you take. And with Venus in Capricorn getting ready to receive the moon later the same day in a beautiful earth trine, that's the seventh house for you. She's in Capricorn, your house of others. So specifically spouse, maybe business partners or clients and audience, if you have them. Certainly for those of you who are in the world of pushing stuff out into the marketplace or audience from your career path. So 10th from the 10th house. This could be a very positive publicity breakthrough or financial breakthrough through some unexpected promotion, publicity, or breakthrough for you in your life regarding things you share with the world from your career. But more so, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, Jupiter in that ninth house can outpicture for some of you Cancers like a spiritual teacher or a real guide, coach, or mentor who's precipitating some kind of positive developments through your sky in that unexpected surprise and delight way. What kind of words did I write down for this stuff? Freedom, grace, good fortune, positive changes, and unexpected opportunities from somebody in a professorial place, Jupiter in the ninth, maybe also somebody in a foreign land or from a foreign land, offering you opportunity. All right, moving forward. Leo, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, Leo, you've got this Jupiter, god of good growth, expansion, Santa Claus energy in your money, eighth house, money house, investments and loans and dividends and spousal money, but inheritances as well. Now, I don't want to scare you, Leos, but it is an inheritance house. And Jupiter through there is a bequeathment transit, and he'll be there till mid-May and the last 2 months of the year. Some of you may be getting money from someone who passes during these times. And with the energy of this sky, Uranus in the 10th, however, the 10th is your reputation and your career and your status and your achievement house. There's big jolts of change up there anyway, since 2019 to 26 as Uranus transits there. You're definitely having a lot of desire for freedom in career and a lot of change around what career path you're on. Now there's some unexpected bolt of change connected to opportunity around money from that 8th house, and with the moon in the money house as well during the whole day. And it's really powerfully about money for you. Moon in the 2nd house of earnings and resources and vocation sometimes as well. So what kind of money story is breaking free through your career path, Leo? So it could be quite exciting. And I don't think I'm going to use this filter again, because every time I look at myself, it looks like I don't have white teeth, but I actually do. Venus is in your 6th house, and the 6th house is the house of your work and your work routines, and sometimes health routines as well. The workaday life, your colleagues in the office space, that kind of stuff, or your employees. Now, Venus is in Capricorn. So she's got boss babe shoulder pads here. She's very determined. She's likes her mink coats, and she's refined and elegant, but this could be a coworker or a boss or somebody in the workspace who's female. And this moon will be trining, Venus, earth flow, money flow, resources flow. So someone in the workplace, offers you an upgrade in your finances because you get a promotion or you get a bonus check or something like that. But it's very lovely. And it's all about career energy with Uranus in the 10th, Venus in the 6th, and the moon in the 2nd, creating trine. Flow, flow, flow. Virgo, sun, moon, and especially ascendant rising sign type people. Well, guess what? You're having Jupiter in your house of your spouse, in the house of your spouse or your significant other, whoever you're with that you're committed to. This can also mean a business partnership person. Jupiter here is also really auspicious for you for anything to do with signing legal affair contracts, signing on dotted lines, agreements, and negotiations. Now, sometimes a transit of Jupiter through this part of your sky, which goes till mid-May now, and then the last 2 months of the year, can make your relationship stronger. And you might want to also go back to May, June, and July when Jupiter tiptoed in here. Like, for instance, my daughter is a Virgo rising, and her relationship with her live-in fiance type partner got really, really sweet May, June, and July. They were like, just moved back to Vancouver. It was sunny. They were loving their lives, both loved their jobs. It seemed to me from the outside looking in, they were having a happy time back then. So for you Virgos in relationship, your Jupiter transit can really make your relationship elevate and bring goodness, growth, and opportunity in the relationship, as well as things like pronouncements of engagements or moving in together, up leveling it. And lastly, your partner gets luck as well, because he's derivatively getting luck in your money in your relationship house. Now, all of that said, sorry, it's a long-winded narrative. Uranus is in your 9th house, and that's your higher education house and your foreign lands house. And sometimes it can also be courts and legal affairs. So for anyone who's a Virgo dealing with legal things like visas or courts or court cases, this is golden breakthrough opportunity where things go swimmingly your way. If this is about foreign lands and travel, you find exactly the place you want to go and everything gets happening, but it's sudden and dramatic and exciting. So, little did you know that you could go to, pick a place in the world, Fiji, for like $40 because they're having a Fiji sale. I don't know. That's crazy. That's not really likely, but I'm making up some stories of how unexpected surprises can happen in the foreign travel house. Lastly, it's higher education. If you're in school, this is going to upgrade you. Maybe you get like a professor loving what you're doing. Maybe you get the best grades you've ever gotten in your life, some stuff like that. With the moon, Virgo, in the house of you, right, in Virgo, and being activated by the Jupiter across the way, especially on the 17th and 18th kind of thing, you are feeling this a jolt of electricity from the 9th and the Jupiter goodness from the 7th, right? This feels good to you. You're feeling like, oh, Earth trine energy to Uranus, and Jupiter. Doesn't matter when he's opposing something, he always tries to bring it with a good blessing. And Jupiter moon energy in combination is very expansive of how we feel. Now, Venus is going through the money goddess and love goddess, your fertility, pregnancy, love and romance, sexuality, fun, joy, play, pleasure, and inspiration, fifth house. She's Capricornian, boss babe, shoulder pad. She's down to business. Yeah, the fifth house can bring money luck to you as well, especially from a speculation like a lottery ticket or a casino night or something like that. So Venus could bring you some exciting news regarding finances or developments financially breaking through, because the moon will apply to connect with her later on the day on the 17th. Or for some Virgos, be careful. Venus here could incite a pregnancy with Jupiter sextiling from the 7th house to the 5th. And the big surprise is, the pregnancy kit test. Who knows? Probably not as likely with Uranus in the 9th house, but you never know. All right, Libra, let me take a sip. Libra, sun, moon, rising sign. So for you guys, the experience of Jupiter, growth, expansion, blessings, goodness, ho, 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 Santa Claus, in your 6th house of work routines and work environment and livelihood that you daily do, the thing you do, the place you go to work maybe, or sometimes your health routines as well. Things you devote yourself to stay healthy and avoid sickness. With Jupiter here, this is definitely good for your health, but you'll be learning new ways to be healthy. But with Jupiter here as well, good things are happening in your work environment. And that's true until mid-May and as well in the last 2 months of 2022. Now, this is a special week because on the 17th through to the 22nd, you could get some Uranus bolt of financial goodness from the 8th money house, or you could get a secret revealed, Uranus in the 8th house, and it somehow implies or affects your work and work routines, but it's a good revelation or a good secret. But still, Uranus in the 8th house can bring a jolt of unexpected payoff financially from some kind of investment or some kind of money that is not a paycheck. Let's call it that way. Now, if you are looking for some kind of, I'm speaking English. The moon is in Virgo in your 12th house. This is very subtle. This is your interior life. This is dreams at night, but it's hooking up a ride to Jupiter across the way. And it's in a lovely energy of an Earth trine to Uranus in your 8th house. This is definitely good for you. PayPal, Stripe account type things. If you make money, if you sell your wares or you make money from people internationally, this could be like a big breakthrough here, a sudden surprise. Now, with Venus in your 4th house, some of you Libras are dealing with things at home in your domestic private life that are positive and being activated later on the 17th, 18th around this big exciting sky as the moon will come into a really lovely trine to Venus. And that's happening on the 17th around, like 9 p.m. at night, whereas the perfection of the actual Pacific time, 9 p.m. Pacific of the, so it's all in the same day. Just don't worry about it. So Venus in the 4th house for you could be represented by a female living in your home, or something you're trying to do to beautify, refine, and decorate your home, or some good money news coming around and in and from your home. For a lot of you Libra people, this has a lot of money and work combination energy, positive directions and breakthroughs in those areas of money, livelihood, and work. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising sign. In your sky, you have this beautiful Jupiter blessings and expansion and growth and opportunity in your 5th house of love and romance, of money luck, especially from speculation monies, like, lotteries and stuff. And you have Jupiter also bringing you a fertility symbol. I mean, if you're a Scorpio with Jupiter in your 5th house until the middle of May and the last 2 months of 22, you or your partner could get pregnant. So if that's not what you want, be cautious. If you want to start your own business, though, and have your own independent enterprise, this is excellent time with Jupiter there as well. I mean, Jupiter's trying to bring you more joy, and more fun in life right now. And with Uranus in a bolt and jolt of energy from the 7th house of committed love, that's like, hey, honey, guess what? I'm pregnant. So be careful or not. It might be too late. On the other hand, your spouse or partner could, or business partner could have some amazing sudden developments in their life, erratic sudden change for them that's positively influencing both of your finances and the play, fun, joy factor in the relationship itself. With the moon in Virgo, the day of this rare Jupiter Uranus event, the moon is in the house of pennies from heaven and windfalls and fairy godmother energy and friends and allies who benefit you. With the moon here, it could also be females trying to help you out, benefit you during this time of the 17th to the 22nd of February. Venus is sitting in Capricorn in your third house, and that moon will come into later in the same day of the 17th into a perfected trine with her. She's the first person to talk to the moon after this event. Now, the third house is a house of your siblings and your journeys, your trips and travel, and your local neighborhood environment. This is an area of auspicious goodness for you all through this energy of this 17th to the 22nd. It got highlighted somehow by this moon Venus contact. A woman in your neighborhood, a woman in the online world that you are about, social media world can be third house, could very much play a positive role in what looks like breakthroughs around fun, play, joy, pleasure, and connection to business and love partners. Anything else? Well, seventh house is legal contracts and signing on dotted lines, like paperwork and agreements, legal negotiations. Jupiter is the god of legal stuff, and he's in the fifth house of really good money luck and maybe even just feeling really happy. So maybe there's some kind of good legal thing that shows up that you get, oh my God, there's an offer for this or that, and you get to sign it and it all works out well for your finances and your joy. Lastly, it could come through your partner, right? Uranus is moving through the house of your partner. This could be how their story amplifies your excitement in life. Okay. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign people. So energetically, this thing is going to be going down, and the fourth house, sixth house story, Jupiter in the fourth house of your home, where you live, your domestic and private life, the land you stand on, your ancestral familial line. This is a legacy position too. Jupiter, like going through the eighth, can sometimes mean an elder in your family is going to pass or is going to likely leave this planet. And that is in play until mid-May. And then again, the last 2 months of the year. With the moon involved, I would suggest, by the way, it could be a female, like a great grandmother, grandmother, great aunt, whatever, something like that. Now, this is Uranus with the electricity of unexpected freedom, change, unexpected change, sudden opportunity in your sixth house of your daily habits and routines, work, and also things you do for your body and health. Uranus is sending jolts and bolts of light there, where your Jupiter is also saying from the fourth house, good things come from home, in home, and about home, or legacy wealth. Well, you could expect some. If you're employed and you have colleagues or you're a boss, these are unexpected, dramatic, but positive changes in that environment that fortify and support you to have goodness in your home and from your home life. Like, I don't know, like the company goes, everyone's working from home forever. We decided, pandemic or not, this is a better model. And you're like, yay, I like to work by the pool, on my Zoom calls. I mean, who knows? Okay. Also, the moon is sitting in Virgo in your 10th house of career. So we're getting some clues here. This is definitely a work career shift, but also implies goodness about homeland and real estate. I mean, you could get hired for a new job and you get to move to another place because of it, for example. And you love this idea of a new home because it's bounteous and expansive. The moon in the 10th of career, though, is opportunities that could be coming from the high noon of the sky, the career zone, and moon up there can also make you very popular in your career path or with those people you work around and with. And that moon will come into a earth trine with boss babe Venus in your second house of money and earnings. So this looks a lot like a potential positive and unexpected and exciting development in your career path, with your reputation, with your status, maybe with how your finances go through your work, especially Venus in that Capricorn transit through your second house. I mean, she's been there since November, guys, and she doesn't leave till March 6th. She's really working it to help you, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, get your money stuff going in a positive new direction. Now, this is an exciting sky, around that money in a sense of unexpected developments you are approving of. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, you have Jupiter in your third house of local neighborhood stuff, trips and travel and journeys you can take, shorter trips, not big exotic ones, like, maybe a getaway, weekend getaway, local trip, domestic travel. And your connection to your siblings, right? Jupiter's expanding all of that area of your sky. Technically, quite often Jupiter transiting here, he'll be here to mid-May, Capricorns, and then he'll be back again in the last 2 months of the year. Could mean you're going to dig down and learn something, because this is an educational house, especially learning a skill or a trade or something you can apply directly. And so you might be very much about learning right now. Uranus, however, during this week, I got blueberries in my mouth, is going to, from your natal fifth house, activate something in the romance house, the house of children, the house of the muse or inspiration, the house of independent business enterprise, put out your own shingle, sudden developments there. Now, for your single Capricorns, this could mean a romance could blossom from your local neighborhood suddenly, or somewhere in the environments that you go to every day, your coffee shops and stuff like that. Or this could mean if you're in a relationship, there are dramatic and positive and accelerating changes, exhilarating and accelerating changes going on here from that fifth house. And finally, it is the house of your children. So certainly some of your children could come up with some sort of exciting news, or you could definitely watch for pregnancy here, especially if you're female, because Uranus in your fifth house can definitely bring unexpected pregnancy. And Jupiter, the great sperminator, is looking at Uranus from your third house. So you're, just be careful. A trip you take and a getaway and you get pregnant because you were having so much fun. Now, Venus, the moon in Virgo is sitting during the moon, this like 17th, 18th, the moon is sitting in Virgo in your ninth house of foreign lands, higher education, and all of that stuff. Publications, you might find that there's a theme that's somehow connected to ninth house stuff playing through the sky. Like, do you desire to take a trip to a foreign land? And will it bring unexpected joy and play and pleasure? Is there an opening or an offer for a getaway to a far off land, or even a pilgrimage of sorts that you're going to be aware of between February 17th to the 22nd? Venus is in your first house. You've got her blessing since November. She's trying to beautify you, refine you, make you more attractive, more affable, more likable, and make you feel better about you and how you feel about being yourself, liking yourself more, valuing yourself more. And the moon will connect to that Venus later on the day on the 17th, the first planet the moon touches after this sky action of the wedge. And so, something about the ninth house is captivating the moon's attention and relating it to your sense of well-being and refinement. So I think some of you Capricorns are definitely looking at some travel opportunity to bring fun, play, joy, pleasure, and maybe even romantic yay to you. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising sign. I am one of you. We are experiencing Jupiter in our money house. Yes, our earnings house, our resources. Jupiter was here for us back in May, June, July, and I had a lot of cash flow coming in from various courses I was teaching, and I bumped up my revenue stream in those months to a new level. Similarly, Jupiter got back here at the end of December. We'll be here till mid-May. We're starting to heat up again, some sense of abundance and flow financially. And now there's a sudden jolt of yay from Uranus in our fourth house of home and real estate and land. So what kind of way could that show up? So many ways. Like, I'll give you an example. Maybe I'm going to hear about a place that I could rent or buy that's really amazing and the price is great. The price is right. And I'm just going to jump on it. Or maybe I'm going to have some unexpected, exciting development coming around home and where I live that helps my finances, or my financial bounty helps where I live. I'm going to upgrade to a sexy penthouse with a great view or something. And and the moon is coming from the eighth house of money. So this is a money story for a lot of us Aquarius. It's like, we're in the money, guys. The moon in the eighth house of bank loans, tax rebates, bequeathments, inheritance money, someone paying you back because they owed you some money. Okay. Just lots of ways to look at it. It's going to activate your money story. Jupiter and the moon in this like 17th, 18th, maybe time frame is really intense energy. it's really exciting because with Venus in her boss babe shoulder pad Capricorn refinement and no nonsense way, wearing her Chanel suit and her sensible pumps in your 12th house, this is a money house too. This is money that comes from our endeavors to create income from foreign source and lands. Possibly as well, this is a house of magic and doing your own inner work, like a vision board or meditation or a prayer. And so Venus is kind of amplifying that house. And it is Venus in Capricorn that the moon will apply to later in the day on the 17th. So the moon's first connecting point after the wedge in the sky is with Venus. So money goddess, right? So I'm going to say simply, there's a money story germinating this wealth, money, prosperity, abundance, surprise for a lot of Aquarius risings. Okay. I'm just going to leave it at that. Why would you muck with a good story? Tell me your stories in the comments below. What happens for you? What windfalls befall you? All right. So now Pisces people. Jupiter is in your house of your body and will be there until mid-May. And again, in the last 2 months of this year, was there in May, June, and July of 21 as well. Now, Jupiter here is going to give you a sense of largesse and grandeur and magnanimity, being magnanimous, being queen or king of your own mountaintop, feeling more blessed and lucky than you normally do. And while Jupiter is here during the 17th, 18th, especially where there's that wedge in the sky, he is having electric shock bolts of exciting change and opportunity and freedom and grace from Uranus in the 3rd house of siblings. Yes, aunts, uncles, cousins too can be there. And what kind of development in those people's lives is going to benefit you in a very positive way. My sister's a Pisces rising, and I'm hoping that I can have a windfall that I can apply to my sister. Now, with a moon in the 7th house, this is also other people and legal contracts and negotiations. So some of you Pisces risings get a lot of light of the moon up. And don't forget, it's the day after the it's like a day and a half after the Leo full moon at 27 degrees. So it's still a very bright light in the sky that will look like a full moon. So that light of that moon sitting in your 7th house is like your business partners, your legal agreements and affairs, and also your spouse or committed love story is very highlighted during this wedge energy. And Uranus in the 3rd house is highlighting siblings and cousins. A lot of this energy isn't about you. It's out there somehow, and, the 3rd house is a house of the goddess where Uranus is sitting. Seers, oracles, scryers, and diviners are there. This could be some unexpected news or information through seeking the oracle's advice or something like that. And it's exciting, and it really wakes up something in your sky. Venus is in your 11th house, and it's a very sweet spot because Venus is the goddess of money, and this can be kind of great financial gain from your career, great popularity and reputation from your career when she's in the 11th, but also this kind of sense of the grace of the pennies from heaven vibe, where it's like out of nowhere money appears. So that's happening. And Venus is going to receive lunar contact really in an earth trine on the 17th and into the 18th. And so how is this possibly going to be very financially exciting and good for you? Now, Venus in your 11th can be friends and allies who are female, who are offering and proffering goodness to you. And Venus stands for the word sisters and sisterhood. So again, sisters, siblings who are sisters, women who want to help you. This is good. You're getting a lot of cosmic sky generosity, and it really impacts you, feeling good about you. Jupiter in the house of your body, bringing you a goodness and grandeur about yourself and luck. Jupiter in your 1st house will make you chubbier than you normally are, but hey, that's a small price to pay for all the goodness, okay? Because, he just does it. He increases the girth of us. When he's in, I girthed out by about 6, 7, 8 pounds during Jupiter's transit through Aquarius. So I still haven't lost that extra weight. So, you might find yourself gaining a bit of weight over the next few months, but look at the juice and happiness and the goodness side of Jupiter in your 1st house, especially given Pisces. He's in dignity and he's your guy, right? He's the Lord of your sign. He's the Lugna Lord, the Lord of your ascendant. Okay, thank you guys for listening. Please like, please subscribe, make comments. Tell me how this is going for you. I'd like to know. I really would. Let me hear back and see if you're getting any bolts of luck and opportunity and freedom and grace. And what other words do I have? Good fortune coming out of this week's sky. Mwah. I think next time I won't use the orange filter. I really don't have orange skin, but it looks like I'm tanned, I guess. All right, ciao.